You guys, it's finally time. I've been a little bit hesitant to talk about this just because it is kind of personal and vulnerable, but a lot of people ask me how I started my press-on business and how I got to where I am today, so I'm finally sharing that with you. So let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna take us back to like late 2021, early 2022. In 2021, I graduated with a degree in computer science, and about 6 months later, I got a job as a data engineer. I started in September 2021, and obviously I was so excited to get my first big girl job. I didn't hate it at all. It was pretty chill and the work-life balance was good, and I felt like I was overall learning a lot. But then around August 2022, almost a year later, we got new management and a lot of things changed. I started getting way more work, staying longer hours, and just a bunch of things dumped onto me. My manager would pass me all the stuff that he didn't want to do, and I was entry level, and these people were obviously all senior managers, so obviously a lot of the workload was things that I just didn't know how to do, and it was way out of my pay range to even do it. And when I would speak up, I really would just get disregarded and kind of just getting told that this is just the way that things are, we just have to put up with it. And it really just changed the entire vibe of the job. I started dreading going in and not enjoying the job at all, which really sucks. Around the same time that this is all happening, I started doing my own nails at home, but just for fun. I have always loved nails. I have been getting them done since I was 15, and I'm 26 now, and even in high school I always had long nails, but kind of as I got older, I lost touch with them, mostly because I worked in a lot of restaurant and kitchen jobs, and I couldn't have my nails done there. But where I live, long and quote-unquote crazy nails is not really the norm, so it was really hard to find a tech who did the kind of nails I liked. And on top of that, prices were out of my budget too, and I honestly didn't want to sit through 3-4 hour appointments. So I was kind of okay, if anyone can do my nails exactly how I want them, it's me. So around August 2022, I started teaching myself how to do my own nails, but I was just doing nails for the fun of it. It wasn't really at this point to start a business yet. It was just something I did for fun. It was just a hobby. But even while doing this, my job was still getting pretty bad, and around October 2022, I did go through a horrible breakup, which I don't really want to get too into, but it was a 6-year relationship, and it just kind of ended out of nowhere, and it obviously affected me, so I wasn't really motivated to do nails, and I kind of just dropped the hobby really quick. I was still doing nails, but maybe once a month, just when I wanted my nails done to go out. And for a few months, I was just kind of down, and I don't want to say a dark place because it really wasn't, but I just wasn't happy with the way life was going in my work life and my personal life. And this feeling kind of lingered on for months until March 2023, I hit a breaking point. The job had just become too much. I was doing way more than what I was being paid for. And again, when I spoke up about it, it was just disregarded and told to just deal with it. And I would dread going into work. I would clock out and just be miserable the rest of the day because I knew I had to come back the next day. At this point, I was completely burnt out. So I quit my job, and I didn't have another job lined up, but I did have a good amount in savings, which I would not recommend quitting without a backup plan unless you're in a position to do so. But I was at my limit, and thank God I had the money saved up to be able to quit. And that same month, I made my nail page, but I didn't have a business plan, and I didn't even know what I wanted to do yet. I just knew that I wanted to post my work and share on social media what I was doing nail wise. Selling press-ons wasn't even on my radar at that point. I just wanted to show off the sets that I was doing. But even at this point, I still wasn't too happy or in the best place. The breakup was still fresh, and we were on and off for 9 months after we broke up. So obviously nails weren't really on my mind, especially since I had a good amount saved up to be able to just quit, so I wasn't really worried about money either. I would post here and there, maybe once a week, but I wasn't consistent and I wasn't serious about it yet. But looking back, I wish I had been. But towards the end of March, I started selling my press-ons through Etsy. I didn't have a website yet, and I was only getting maybe 4 or 5 orders a month max. It was pretty slow at first, but again, it's because I was not posting consistently. but around July 2023, one of my videos hit 30,000 views, which brought in a few more sales, but nothing crazy. And then a month later, August 2023, I had made a rainbow kawaii junk set before leaving on my trip to Mexico, and if you've been following me for a while, you know what set I'm talking about. But yeah, I made this set and I didn't post it right away because I had to go on my trip to Mexico the next day, so I wasn't really thinking about it. And then in the middle of my trip, I remember it was a Tuesday at 8 a.m. I was like, whatever, let me just post this. And I randomly uploaded it, but I didn't really expect much out of it. And I checked back an hour later and I saw it had 10K views, and I was like, okay, that's more than usual, but again, I didn't really think much of it. And then I was checking every 5 minutes and the views wouldn't stop. It would just keep going up throughout the day. My TikTok was blowing up, so was my Instagram. I was getting so many DMs asking how to order. And mind you, I'm in Mexico, so I barely have any service. And every time I'm connecting to Wi-Fi, it's just my notifications going crazy. Once it reached the end of the day and I could finally check my phone, I had 40 DM requests on Instagram. And I remember just being so in shock. That video ended up hitting 1 million views, and for the first time I was like, okay, now I'm getting some traction. But I was so unprepared. I did not have a proper ordering system. People were placing orders through DM and I was just figuring it out as I went, which made it kind of messy, but that's really when I felt like my name was starting to get put out there. And it happened again a month later in September 2023. I was on vacation again, this time in New York, and another post on TikTok hits 1 million views. And literally the same thing happened. I was on vacation, so I wasn't really on my phone, but literally same thing. It was the same kind of attention spike. And even though it was super exciting both times, it honestly felt like a 15 minutes of fame kind of thing. It was a quick rush and then it was silent. At this point, I started becoming more motivated to post, and at this point we're at the end of 2023, and I told myself okay, even if people aren't buying, I'm gonna keep posting and I'm gonna just make sets that I want to do, even if it's 2 to 3 times a week, and just make my content from that, which really helped. And orders started to slowly come in. I was getting maybe 5 orders a week on Etsy, which felt like progress. But I was also so over Etsy. People were only buying 1 or 2 specific designs out of 20 that I had up, and a lot of the customers on there were very I don't want to say rude, but I did have to deal with a lot of customer complaints and prices and people wanting discounts. It was just overall bad energy, and I wanted better control over my brand, so I decided to move to Shopify. So I built my Shopify site and launched it a week later, and here I am thinking it would just blow up. I thought people would just switch over and start ordering, but it was basically starting from scratch. If you're stuck between Etsy and Shopify, I definitely say to go for Shopify first if you can. Etsy is good for random traffic because they do the marketing for you, but Shopify helps you actually build your brand. But honestly, that's a topic for another video. So back to the story. 2023 ended pretty quietly. I didn't get any more viral posts or any major sales. My most viral posts are still from August and September 2023. But once 2024 started, I decided to really lock in, and I told myself I'm gonna post every week, even if it's dumb stuff and no one watches it. I'm just gonna keep posting. And this entire first year, TikTok was the only platform growing. My Instagram had maybe 800 followers max, but when I started posting every single day, my Instagram finally started picking up, and that's when my orders really started coming in. So in January 2024, I started building up more of my portfolio and bringing in more clients. Mind you, this is already 1 full year into my business. It took a while to get consistent orders, so if you're just starting out and it feels slow, trust me, that's normal. Around March 2024, I started noticing a small group of regular clients forming, just people coming back for more sets and showing love consistently. So I made it a priority to post multiple times a week, but behind the scenes, I also made it a priority to have really good customer service. I just wanted to overall be kind and respectful and easy to talk to, because honestly, there's a reputation in the beauty industry, whether it's nails, lashes, whatever, that some service providers are rude or hard to deal with. And I really did not want to be that person. I think that no matter how talented your work is, if you're rude, people will not come back. So for me, kindness and communication became just as important as the nails themselves. I also made a lot of mistakes my first year. I shipped to the wrong address a few times. I had unhappy customers. I even got scammed once, and I won't go too deep into that now, but if you guys want a video on that, then I can definitely make one. The point is, I learned so much in my first year about myself, my business, and what it takes to actually grow. And looking back, I'm overall really proud of how much I've learned. 2024 was the first year I started transitioning into being a full-time artist, slowly but surely. I saw a big spike in orders starting in January. That was the first time I had consistent sales coming in, and I started to realize that consistent clientele is everything in this business, and you can't build that if you're not kind and passionate about your work. Now it's 2025, and my goals haven't changed that much. I still want to grow, build my business, and connect with more people because I've built a great client base, especially returning customers, and I am so grateful for them. Without them, this business would not exist. But I also set a new goal for myself this year, which is to show more of myself, not just the nails, but my voice, my thoughts, and what goes on behind the scenes. I've been doing voiceovers, vlogs, and now videos like this because I want to be real with you guys, and I want to show that it's not always as glamorous as it looks on social media. This is 2 years into my business, and even though I'm happy with my progress, I'm still not anywhere near where I want to be. I still have self-doubt, I still compare myself, and I definitely wish I had taken things more seriously early on. But this journey has been full of learning, and I would not trade it for anything. I definitely had to go through a few things to get to where I am today. So if you're watching this and you feel unsure, if you're wondering whether to start or you're feeling stuck, I hope this helped even a little bit because I've had the same thoughts, and I'm sure so many other small business owners have too. You really just have to take the chance, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, but I don't see why it wouldn't. If you show up consistently and stay true to yourself, everything will definitely work out for you. And if this video helps even one person feel a little less alone in that journey, then I'm really happy I made it. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to my story. I really appreciate you guys listening, and I hope it helped you in some way. Also, feel free to leave your own story in the comments, whether you're a small business owner or you're just on your own creative journey. It doesn't have to be nails. I'd just love to hear what your experience has been like. I'll see you guys in the next video.